All right, gang, we're back. Once again, gonna do a quick video. Yesterday we closed up the box. Today, all I'm gonna do is open up the box, and then we're gonna discuss some of the things about the outside form, and then you can see how the spreaders come out. So I'm gonna actually be talking through this, so no real demo on this one. Let's go. All right, so yesterday we closed this all up, and we're gonna open it up today. Yeah, I know I'm not talking right now, but sometimes less is more. All right. Okay, let's get these clamps out of the way. So deal with that. All right. Make sure we can see what we're doing. That out of the way. Okay. This is where we're at. Remember? We glued the top on, and then let's do this, get you some light. There we go. Glue the top on. There's some nice squeeze out going out around there, and everything's lined up. By the way, you can see where I line up the seam to the form itself. It's kind of off angle, but believe me, it's lined up there. How's that? So today we're going to take out the spreaders on the inside. So here we go. This one is the top and bottom, heel block, tail block. Just a quick spin, and then it should come out. Let's take, now we're doing this front spreader brace. We'll just take that one out. And all it is pushing. Remember, it was at an angle, so that came out fairly easily. That one comes out. Okay, let's see if we can take this out right now. No, we'll just wait till everything else comes out. What I can take out right now is the bottom one. The bottom longitudinal spreader. Is that what it is? Just a quick tip to the side. That one comes out fairly easily. You can take out the neck block one. You see what I did with this? I actually used to use this, but I use this one now. All right. That's out. See how that fits through a sound hole? So I guess basically your sound hole, the size of your sound hole, determines the size of these spreader calls. We'll call them that. Okay. I have, this used to be the one I used to have for up here when I used to have 3 spreaders. This was my middle one, but this one's, it was never this thick before. What I'm going to do is, now I got to pull out that last one across here. You guys remember what it looks like. These spreaders are kind of angled like this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hook onto what's across here. Make sure we can see what we're doing. I'm just going to hook it and then pull it out. Usually it works fairly quickly. It usually works fairly well. Let's open this up a little. How about if we use a long one? I can see inside what I'm grabbing. That's right there. And usually it doesn't take much, but this one seems to be a little stuck. So that happens when I tighten it so much. Okay, that's not coming out easily. I don't want to damage too much stuff. Let's see if I can get my finger in there and twist the turnbuckle, which I can't We'll try something else. Okay, so to be honest with you, this is the first time I've never been able to take one out, but just as well. All I'm gonna do is try to get in here and turn. And we'll try to take this out again. There it is. And no, I didn't turn anything. That didn't work. All I did was move this. I'll show you exactly what I did, how we got that out. My fault for being lazy. I was trying to pull this right here. All I did was pull it from here, which obviously makes sense, right? Better leverage that way. Okay, let's take this out. The spreader's out. You don't want to be shaking it up too much and banging up too much stuff on the inside. Just let it fall out. And it'll come out nicely. Now, we talked about taking this out, because what I used to do was I used to actually push it out whichever way. I used to glue it back on, take it out. Okay, forgot about that. This is the call for the tail block, and there's another one in there. There it is. So I use two just because it's easier to come out. Maybe that's the thing too. So you can see this goes over the back spline and braces off the top, whichever. And then I have this for the spreaders right there. Okay. All right, anyway, getting back to this. What I used to do is glue the back on, right? Then I used to route it right to shape. Then glue the top on and then push it out. Well, anyway, that was my old form that didn't have a split inside. This one has a split. So we're just going to take off these nuts. By the way, the back side of the nut is one of those bolts. And it's morning. My brain's not 100%. Forgot what they were called. But let's take that off. And of course, I bent these washers just so they fit right inside here. I just wanted a big giant washer on it for whatever reason. And if you're wondering why I'm using one of these ratchets and a deep socket, that's my habit. My brother turned me on to flex head sockets, and I use them all the time. Obviously, they're not the strongest one. I got my other sockets I need. You know, remember, automotive background, but I love deep sockets. They just usually work very well for me. All right, this is not always the easiest thing to come apart. Looks like it's already coming apart. Pull them out evenly. So we're just going top and back. You guys can see how the top is spreading, the back is spreading. It's just going, or top and bottom, whichever way you want to call it. You see how tight this is. And that's really based on the heel block and the tail block being so tight. There it is. All right, got that out. Got this out. Let's put this on the side for now. And let's talk about this. Okay, so basically all this is an outside form. I like it. It's for ukulele. I have it this deep. I have a little attachment that I put inside here for a cutaway. I've done one. 2, I think, maybe. But once I split this, you know, this is basically, once you get one, you utilize that one shape to cut all the other shapes and make sure they're glued together. You can see right here, I actually drilled a piece and there's a dowel in it. So when I'm putting it all together, it's all aligned to itself. And I use a pattern bit on the inside after I rough cut each layer, and just pattern bit the inside so everything's square and even. All right, let's put this back together because there's some things on this side that I want to talk about. Oh, by the way, there's the bolt. It doesn't move once it's in. Yes, you can use any kind of bolt that you wanted to, hex head, whatever suits you. That works too. Of course, for some reason, it's not going in, but that's not the important part right now. It'll go in after. Okay, what I wanted to bring to your attention was I got a lot of markings on here, and this is just something I do with my jigs. For example, I put over here my lining. It ends up being 15 1/4 inches once it gaps out from the heel block to the tail block. I got a note that says 18 1/16 inch sides. That brings the sides from here all the way around to here. I have a 2-inch heel, which means this way. I'm sorry, 2-inch heel, which means this way. 1.5 inch tail, which means this way. So it's 1.5 inches wide. The tail is not as wide as the heel. The heel gives me enough to support underneath the fingerboard. I don't do a curve, I do a flat over here. So when you're making this jig, you gotta make sure that this section right here is square in all directions, because that's where this goes, because we want this square. I'm not saying it's square right now. We can check. It's literally, yeah, it is. You know, I'm gapping because I'm touching the overhang right here. But to the top, you guys can kind of eyeball this. That's pretty square, which is where I want it. That's as a result of clamping it against here being square. What else do I have on here? I have heel 2 inches. Oh, I got a measurement 1 7/8, but basically 14 fret. So what it's telling me is 14 fret is right here. I used to use another block, 1 3/4, but I have a 2-inch measurement right out to here. Now, see over here it says linings. What I do is I have a measurement. They call this a storyboard. See right there, linings, what is that? 15 1/4, right? 15 1/4. So I got a mark right here. So if I measure out, test myself here, 15 1/4 inches. If I start there, you'll see 15 1/4, right there, goes to that line. So I really don't have to measure my linings before I glue it in. I can actually pop it right across here and just cut it, make sure I clean it up nicely right there. Call that a storyboard. But anyway, that is it. That's the outside form. Let's look at what he got here. Now, one of the questions was asked was about glue squeeze out. I like glue squeeze out, especially on the outside. I don't like it on the inside. Question was asked when I glued the back on, how long it took for me to glue it. Yeah, it took a while, but the 192 actually lasts a while. And there's some open time on the 192. I don't think it's minutes like how I took, but it's okay. Everything's glued in. I got nice squeeze out over here, cleaned out the squeeze out on the inside. There's gonna be some squeeze out on the top that you simply can't reach in on an ukulele because it's not a guitar. Anyway, that's it. This is where we're going from here. That is removing the body from the outside form. Catch you next time, guys.